Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing Ride 4, and we're going to be using the MV Agustas 1090 Brutale right here in Snetterton. So a few days ago in the last live stream I did actually achieve the Snetterton Master Group requirements to start participating within this particular category within Ride 4 career mode. So I thought I'd give it a try out today, and thought I'd use a bike that I don't really use that often. In fact, I've never used this one at all, which being the MV Agustas, so I thought I'd give it a try and see how it is. Now unfortunately I won't be able to use it for the next objective, which will be a Grand Prix, but for this actual little bit of a time trial to get the goal lap time of 1:52.8 should be relatively easy, and I think at the same time very, very comfortable to use. I quite like the MV Agustas in this game. I think all of them are very, very solid, so I thought I'm going to choose the MV Agustas, go for it in this one, and just see how we can perform here in Snetterton. Now, Snetterton's not one of my most favourite tracks. It's one of my least favourites, if I'm truly honest with you. But the more I've played it recently, the better I've felt about it. There's a couple of corners that I'm just not particularly confident in and not really that sure on how to tackle it, but I do feel rather stronger now having doing this video. Now, of course, the Snetterton Master Group does give you a few objectives to do, such as this time trial, a track day, and a couple of races to tackle on there. Even an endurance race, of course, as well. So if you've never done any of the master groups, it's basically just do so many miles on a specific track, and then eventually you will be invited to do a master group for that particular track. Now, not every single track has this, there's only a couple in the game, but still, I rather like that addition to the career mode, and I really like doing these little smaller objectives and then building it up for a Grand Prix immediately after. Now, I actually discovered a glitch for the track day part of this particular race, but I won't be including it in this video. I guess I'll leave it for another day. But across the line we will go, and that is the goal lap time. So let's check out a Grand Prix here in Snetterton, but this time on board the MV Agustas Brutale 800RR. So not quite as beefy as the other one just a moment ago, but still a great bike nonetheless. So here we go then. I'm going to move over to the side and allow the AI to move ahead of us so we can chase them down. It's a lot more fun and entertaining for me and for you if we chase them down rather than just dashing to the front to never be seen again. So going into the right hander here is going to be a little bit harder on the brakes, so we're going to brake in as much as we possibly can and get to the right hand side. We're going to go around the outside possibly for a couple of riders into Montreal, but not quite. Looks like everyone still stayed ahead of the good doctor for the time being, but we do get ever so closer to the grass there. Just touching it was enough to slow us down, but we now have the acceleration to bring on with power to try and get past a couple of the riders. So maybe here to the right hand side. It's a difficult spot to overtake here in Agustini, but we will have the inside line if we get the cutback, and we certainly do. We're up on the inside. I think that was one of the RVS boys there. I really like that motorcycle as we now go on the left hand side, keeping it tight, lifting up one of the AI riders, and hopefully into the right hand side here we might be able to make a move. It's not quite working out into Oggies, but we're still right there. Now for this next part we could literally just bring on the acceleration and pass them very, very comfortably, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to be gentle on the acceleration, position ourselves for a possible lunge going into the change of direction up here just towards the left hand side after the Snetterton Bridge. So let's see if we can produce something special going on to the right hander here. We're not going to be able to make it. Osvaldo Pavon was holding on position very, very nicely, and now is Bradley Hooper trying to make ways through on the MV Agustas RVS. So the MV Agustas are in full effect here right now here in Snetterton as we now try and go around the outside of Nico Raicher, and it looks like we're going to get the job done. Can we get not one but two? We certainly can. Going into the left hand side for Murray's, we're right on behind the Croatian of Carolina Rack. So getting behind her, bring on the acceleration. I did let go of the acceleration a little bit there. I don't want to just smash past them with full acceleration. It's always a bit lame when we overtake that way. I want to try and get them on the brakes. That's the best way to play as far as I'm concerned. So on the right hand side, possibly a lunge going into the right hand here. If we're strong enough on the brakes, we'll get the job done. It's going to be a little bit of contact, and I tell you what, yeah, that's a bit of a muggery, that one. That's an absolute robbery. So let's let her get through, and I'll let everyone else get through, and then we'll make the video even more entertaining now by dropping down even further with a 4.2 second gap to Finley Cooper. And take a look at that graphic on the left hand side of your screen. Everyone British in the the bottom three and the top position. As now Nico Raicher has decided to mess up the consistency of the British riders on the left hand side of the screen, but we're now getting very firm on the brakes there as the AI decided to brake rather abruptly ahead of me there. So we'll try and go around the outside. Can we go around the outside of Bradley Hooper? That would be a brave and bold move, but we do actually get the job done, and we're up into that position that we were earlier on, up against Carolina Rack, but maybe this time I'm just going to smash past. I think we got the job done earlier. It was a little bit aggressive up on the inside into the right-hander, the very difficult right-hander, but we're much better this time. I'm thinking 4 seconds of a lead to Finley Cooper should be enough now to make this very, very interesting for the final 3 laps here in Snetterton on board the MV Agusta. So if you're enjoying this video so far, guys, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe as well. Helps out the channel quite a lot, and of course, if you want to leave a comment about a suggestion, you can do so now as well. But we'll now try and line up as Valdo Pavon for the left-hand side, and I tell you what, that's great timing. Up on the inside into Murray's, we get the job done. A top 5 position for DrAce right now, and 4 seconds of a gap to Finley Cooper. This may not be as easy as I imagined. Maybe I've left this a little bit too late. I guess we're going to find out for the next 3 laps. So let's see what we can produce as we now go on the right-hand side. Prepare yourself for some very heavy braking. You see the rear brake got slammed on there as well to try and keep this nice and tight for the right-hander of Montreal. And we'll now bring on the power once more. Just approaching 20 to 1 here with 27 degrees here in Snetterton. So nice warm temperatures for this track right now, and on a bike that's feeling pretty solid. Nice slick tyres, and I think I'm running with the hard front, medium rear combination and 2 very much favour. And if you've never used this particular MV Agusta before, I would highly recommend it. I'm really impressed with the way it's sticking to the circuit of Snetterton right now. Feels very, very comfortable to use, so highly, highly recommend for possibly a future video, or even for yourselves, just to give out a little bit of a try to this MV Agusta. So onto the right hand side now for Williams. We'll keep it in nice and tight to then slowly bring on the acceleration and then full throttle as we get in behind Mariko Awazara. The Japanese rider will be decimated any moment now, and 4th position has been stolen by the number 47 as we go on the left hand side. Bring on the brakes for Brundle. Do we keep it in nice and tight? We certainly do. Lovely, lovely job done there for the right-hander. And now we go for the right-hand once more for the bomb hole. Could this be the preparation point for taking Eduardo Berardi, as we'll now go into the left-hander any moment now? We're close, but not close enough. Could be a late lunge on the brakes, but I'm going to go for it here. Relatively late, but we do dive up on the inside and take over in the final rostrum position. So approaching the line, this is the start of the penultimate lap. Finley Cooper hanging on there in 2nd place. He's been leading most of this Grand Prix, but now it's time to play second fiddle, be the bridesmaid, not the bride, in 2nd position. So into the right-hander for riches. Can we go round the outside of Finley Cooper? Very firm on the brakes. You see the Alpine Star boot just kissing the tarmac. Cooper ran it wide, and DrAce took full advantage of that one. So 1.1-ish seconds to Luke Fox. The Australian is leading the Grand Prix for now, but for how much longer? We're going to be improving on this lap time once again, I do believe. At least it certainly feels that way as we go firm on the brake. We know, in fact, we actually lost time. Half a second we were down by. It didn't feel that way. I felt like I was gaining a little bit of time, but nonetheless, it's still not really that important to be losing time at this stage, because I'm pretty confident when we get into this next particular part, we're going to really, really take advantage of the slipstream and also just the speed difference we get compared to the AI. So onto the right hand side, following that deeper black line on the track, sticking to it like glue. The Brutale is fantastic. It is a very, very reliable motorcycle, but we'll now fire on the acceleration, bringing on every little bit of power we've got to bring it into the left hand side. We lost a little bit more time, but the actual time to Luke Fox is down to 0.4 of a second. It's even less than that now. It's not oscillating anymore, it's just dipping. It's just literally disappearing. We need to get on through, and I don't fancy trying to do something outrageous and causing an absolute detritus. I'm going to just go for the lunge at any possible point. I think it's going to be this left-hander. Are we brave enough on the brakes? How's your luck, Luke Fox? Oh, he hangs on. Oh, a bit of contact made there. I don't know if you noticed that, but there was a little bit of a stutter. I went into the left-hand side there, and the game, for some strange reason, gave me a very, very solid stutter there, which I couldn't do anything about. So unfortunately, I just had to accept fate and give Fox a bit of a smash onto the rear tyre. So my apologies, but Pirelli on Pirelli, if that's the tyres we're using for this particular race, as we go very firm on the brakes for the right-hand side. And speaking of stutters, I've just upgraded to 4K monitor actually, and I'm having a little bit of issues recording gameplay and just generally playing Ride 4 with it. at this moment in time. We're getting a bit of micro stutters, a bit of lag here and there, but the game does look fantastic, you can't deny that. So for the next couple of videos, as we try and make the lunge now up on the inside, going into Agustini, have we ran it too far ahead of Mr. Fox? It looks like we're going to hold on. I do see the MV Agusta, but we are still in the lead for this final lap of Snetterton. But I was going to mention that the next couple of videos I do for Ride 4, probably from next week onwards, I have already done quite a lot of content for next week. It'll literally be all in 4K from that point onwards. I have been upscaling videos since for quite a while with QHD, so from now on it should be just native 4K uploaded to YouTube from Ride 4, which I'm very, very excited about. It's not just Ride 4 as well, it's MotoGP, MXGP, the whole shebang, to be quite honest with you. But now going into the right hand side for Nelson, we have actually already got a second lead to Luke Fox, so it's a ridiculous amount of speed you can pick up in that straight, and it also shows how much I've sort of been chilling and taking my time against the AI in this one, because I'm pretty certain this race probably would have been over, done and dusted, and the podium celebrations probably even had the champagne out by now if I was actually full on going for it. So upon that note, we have got the job done. We're going to take victory, we're going to take another career mode win, and I'm very, very pleased with our performance here today. So across the line, victory for DrAce and the Aces. So guys, upon that note, that is going to be it from me. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below. Hit the like button to help out my channel and help out the algorithm for YouTube, and also subscribe if you really enjoy the content. Thanks for watching guys, and ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.